Can I homeschool without a curriculum? That is the question of the day, but first let's get to products. Mistakes that worked. I found it at the library. Well, I mean, I searched for it at the library, but it's got like sandwiches were mistakes that worked. Tea, aspirin, dog guides to help blind people, x-rays. So these things, so I just think this is a great, one of those books that when they're eating, you pull it out and you're like, hey, flip to a page, Coca-Cola. And it's got a lot of words on it, so it's a little wordy, but if your kids are little, read it while you're eating. Okay, the next thing I love is I love a children's encyclopedia of art. I think it's great. I think it's a good step up from a children's introduction to art. And it's one of those things that I just pull out, the art of Venice, you know? And then we could talk about that again while they're eating. Kind of like a morning basket. I do it over food though, just because I got some kids that don't sit still that much. Early Islamic art, early Christian art, Asian art, Greek paintings. So prehistoric art. So it covers a lot of different genres of art and teaches you about them, which I think is great. Next, we got, just because I was on a theme apparently, and I like it, How to Teach Art to Children. I think it's great. There's also Mon Art, which is how to teach children to draw, because drawing does not come naturally, and that's another book that I think is great regarding art. Okay, and next up, Manner of the Week. Is that right? Yeah, Manner of the Week. And I really like these so far. We just got them. They're from Memoria Press. Smile is the first one. And then on the back, it's got helpful information, just general guidelines. Smiling is the easiest and best way to show kindness. Next product of the day I got. So my kids didn't like Peter Rabbit. My mom gave it to them for Christmas and was like, oh, they'll love it. They'll love it. Yeah, they didn't love it. But I found this at the library, The Spectacular Tale of Peter Rabbit. This one is by Emma Thompson, you know, the actress. And it's great. It's great. It's got a ton of pictures. It's got a lot more pictures than the original Beatrix Potter ones. And it's an enjoyable read and I recommend it. So let's get into, can I homeschool without a curriculum? I absolutely think you can, and this is from someone who bought every curriculum known to man pretty much and went through every curriculum. And I taught a lot, and I still do. I created lessons on my own and things like that. I do it especially if there's an area that I can't find information in. Now, what I would say is curriculums make it a little easier. In some ways they make it easier, but they're also very demanding. There's some curriculums that are very demanding. A very easy curriculum that is not very demanding and not very expensive, because curriculums can also be expensive, is Blossom and Root for $20. And usually when curriculums are $20 or $40, usually that means you have to go out and get a bunch of spines, a bunch of books. This is not the case with Blossom and Root. It was created by a homeschool mom. I'm telling you, that's why I think you can create curriculums on your own and you don't need a curriculum, is because a lot of my favorite curriculums were created by people who didn't like what was available. Okay, so, but what I think you need is home learning year by year, just as a guide. But you can also download like free curriculums and use that as a guide as well if you wanted to. So for example, if this is preschool, no, this is kindergarten. Know the names and features of the 4 seasons. So it just gives you, that's bold, and then it'll give you some books suggestions. So I use this as a guidepost just when creating transcripts, just to see where we're at, to see what they should be learning or what they would learn if they were in school. I guess I don't like the word should some days. So that's just what I use as a guidepost. And for music, what we do for composition is they have, like, you can download a piano app to their phone, to their iPads if they have iPads, or just get a keyboard, and we just do composition time. So they have to do composition time. So what I'm saying is that I don't think you need a curriculum to teach your children at all. I do think that another way you can get recommended, like just ideas, is by going to the library and searching curriculum, and then put grade 2 curriculum, and they have books there. And that way you can go and look through like grade 2 math and things like that, just to get an idea as to what is done. And I do think it's so much easier to teach without a curriculum if your kids like to read. But I'm not gonna be arrogant enough to assume that you can't use YouTube either. Like YouTube has a ton, like I've heard people say Homeschool Pop, and I haven't tried it yet, but we use Peekaboo Kids. So there are educational channels on there and documentaries and things that I think would help. If you want more information on science, I did a How to Homeschool Science Without a Curriculum video that has more information about which books I love regarding that. But just in general, it's just a lot easier if you have reading time every day and you go to the library and you get a bunch of picture books or whatever, and there's a lot of reading done because you glean a lot of information from that. Now, I also think that if you wanted worksheets, so Creative Fabrica has this thing, and I haven't been online, so you have to use my code. And I think I get, honestly, I think I get 2 cents each time. I'm not really sure, but it's $2.99 for the whole year. So I can't imagine I get that much. So it's $2.99 for the whole year, and you can download 5 packages of worksheets a week. And there's a ton of worksheets. So I would also get an EcoTank printer. Just because for $40 of ink, you can print off 7,800 pages. I have one. I paid $200 from Amazon for it. Was it 200? Or Best Buy, I got it at Best Buy. But anyway, you can get them on Amazon for $200. And I'm telling you, $40 of ink will get you that many pages. Amazing. So then use Creative Fabrica, search what you're searching, because I searched on there, I did a test to see if they had like science information, math information, and sight word information, stuff like that, and they got all that. So you could just use worksheets if there's a particular modality that you wanted to teach or something that maybe you wanted a bit more structure that day. If you don't. I'm just giving you ideas. And yeah, I think that's about it. So I think, yes, absolutely, can I homeschool without a curriculum? I would say absolutely, I would say go for it. If your gut is telling you that's what you do, then you go for it. Go for it, because there's no harm in it. I honestly don't think there's any harm in it, because say your child gets older and they're like, oh, I want to be a vet. Well, you know what? You can, and they're like, oh, but I haven't learned such and such. You can go back and learn it, and they will learn it. Studies have shown that they will learn it at such a fast rate compared to, like, if they learned it in grade 2, in grade 3, in grade 4, in grade 5, they can condense all that information and learn all that information a lot faster and a lot quicker at that age. So I don't think that there's any real risk. And again, with books, there's so much information in books. So if you're just reading to your kids, there's a ton of information there. Okay, there you go. I hope that helped.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes.
And hit the bell for notifications.